Hey everyone, Joe Malizia here with some real talk with my good friend Marshall Jones down in Atlanta. Thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so as some of you all may know, as in my introduction with Marshall earlier, Marshall is a professional trainer and also a partner with Camp Gladiator. And so, Marshall, we're talking about, working out, fitness, taking care of our bodies, man. The world's a mess to a lot of people. A lot of things are happening. The excuses of taking care of ourselves are definitely percolating, especially in my coaching conversations, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Man, what are you seeing as the reality of people caring for their bodies these days?
That's a great question, man. I think that this whole quarantine COVID thing has thrown so many of us for a loop here. I mean, it's just so hard to maintain a consistency in our life. And so a lot of disciplines are going out the window, right? Mm-hmm. And I think a very easy one to go out the window, especially when you don't have the pressure of being around people and looking a certain way, is health, right? It's easy to stay in our little caves and eat whatever we want and not work out. And look, I've even fallen victim to that. I have been majorly out of habit. I'm used to maybe 4 to 5 times a week, and now I'm more like 2 to 3 times a week. And really, 3 is kind of pushing. I'm honestly more like 1 or 2 times at this point. And so I'm actually in a similar boat right now of wanting to revamp my discipline and my commitment to my health. And so all I have to say is I want to first start by saying is don't feel shame around that, because most people are experiencing that right now, right? That is a very, very common thing in all sorts of disciplines, and especially in fitness. And so, my biggest goal is that with what we're doing with virtual workouts, with outdoor workouts, that we're able to have some sort of sense of normalcy where maybe you can't go to a gym or you don't feel comfortable going to an indoor gym right now. With our options, it really is perfectly safe, especially the virtual. There doesn't get safer than that.
Right.
And same thing with outdoor. You're in the fresh open air. And so I guess all that to say is that just because things are different doesn't mean that we're out, right? That we shouldn't have a motivation and a desire to take care of our bodies, because there are options.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more about that.
Yeah. Well, and that's a great leadway into our next question, because really, Marshall, there's so many workout curriculums out there. You don't have to look very hard. It's all on YouTube. It's all on the internet. Everything is right there, man. It's a great question that would say, what makes you guys different? What makes you, Marshall Jones, as a trainer different? And then under the umbrella, of Camp Gladiator, what is the differences? What type of things is making the organization stand out and really serving people in this season of uncertainty?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome question, man. Thanks. And, for those of you who don't know the connection between me and Joe, we actually originally met in a previous life in campus ministry, right? With a missions organization in the world, Campus Crusade for Christ, now known as Crew. And anyway, I think both of us, probably based on how we have changed directions now, probably something that drew us to Crew was that entrepreneurial, that pioneering sort of aspect, right? You're running your own business now. I'm doing the same thing in partnership with Camp Gladiator. And I think that's what really caught my attention to Camp Gladiator. I have a desire ultimately to help people who otherwise want to be helped. I don't want to steal clients from people. I don't want to get the people who are already have discipline and already have a fitness routine. I don't want to steal them away to do my thing. I want to help people have access to quality and affordable and accessible fitness as easily as possible. So that has been my ambition as I've pivoted to this direction of fitness in my professional life, and seeing that Camp Gladiator basically had the exact same mindset. Our tagline is changing fitness and changing lives. So why is it different? Well, it's different because first off, that changing fitness, innovation is in our DNA. Whenever the whole quarantine thing hit in March, we were like the rest of the fitness world. A lot of us trainers were like, what are we going to be doing? And within a week's time, our leadership with Camp Gladiator had set up this virtual platform, and we transitioned 1,000 trainers to a virtual platform within a week of quarantine. And that was hugely impactful. I don't think it can be understated how many tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands, probably actually over 100,000 lives that were directly affected through Camp Gladiator training with us and being able to have that continued sense of normalcy. And so innovation is a huge part of it. Practically speaking, we started as an outdoor fitness company, and that is a crazy thing for people to hear sometimes, especially if you're in Atlanta or Texas, where we started, where it's crazy hot outside in the summer. We're like, how do you work out outside? And it's like, well, people work out in garages and like places without AC all the time. Like your body can naturally adapt to it. That's what sweat's for, And so anyway, we're an outdoor fitness company, and that does a number of things. First off, it allows us to be extremely accessible because we can basically pop up wherever we're allowed. And so we work out in parks, schools, churches, business parking lots, all kinds of things. So extremely accessible. If you look at our Dallas map where we got started, literally thousands of locations in that area, little dots all over the place. And then when it comes to affordability, when we don't pay for rent, keeps the price way down for quality training. And that's the key, is that every single one of our trainers are certified. And so you're not looking at just like some random Joe Joe. Yeah, I just thought about that. How many times do you like
more than I care to admit?
Yeah, but an average Pete, we'll say that.
There you go.
They're just coming in and like maybe they look buff and they look good, but they don't know the first thing about actually training people and keeping people safe. And so anyway, man, I just love Camp Gladiator's vision for impacting as many lives as possible, for not just affecting our physical health, but also like our actual lives, that it's in the DNA. And so anyway, that's what drew me to Camp Gladiator. And then me personally, what distinguishes me even from maybe other Camp Gladiator people, I'm just a zany guy. I'm fun, I'm crazy. And that's going to be true. We have a lightheartedness, fun aspect to our culture in general. But anyone who knows me knows that like I've got a couple of screws loose, and typically it puts on a good show. So you put me in front of a whole lot of people in a group fitness setting, and also married that with my passion for fitness. Yeah. It is something entertaining to experience. And from what I've heard, people just have fun. People have said to me, I have never had fun working out. Like I've always hated, dread the idea of working out. And now like this is one of my favorite parts of my day, is coming and getting to, actually enjoy working out. So
that's been like the greatest blessing for me, man, is like seeing your personality come out in this outlet. I mean, this is, you're talented on many levels, but seeing your personality come true to what you're called to right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, guys, just check out Marshall's Instagram post. The proof is in the pudding. The guy's like creative juices are on another level, really. Mm-hmm. And his impersonations of his physique is amazing. So like this is also where he's serving his clients too. Like he's being himself, and he's serving the people that he's working with on a regular basis, which friends, one of the things that I also wanted to highlight here is, Marshall's even so kind to give some of his workouts for free. And so if you guys want to, Michael, my brother-in-law, just made a comment. Actually, interestingly enough, Marshall, you'll appreciate this. He literally asked, what are you drinking in that cup?
Pre-workout. Water, always water.
So do you recommend any like pre-workout stuff or like anything?
So I actually like pretty much water is exclusively what I drink, but when I work out, I do have a little bit. It's not a full serving. I do a half serving of pre-workout, just to make sure like I'm really dialed in. We'll get to maybe there's definitely, I think, room in some other things that we may talk about for supplement things, and essentially caffeine, pre-workout, I'm an advocate for the most part. But I do think people go crazy. You see those videos, people like dumping the sugar, the powder in their mouth. I mean, that's a little overboard, but yeah, I do a little bit from time to time.
A little something. And that's awesome, guys. Like I said, if you want to try this stuff for free, all you have to do is literally just post something, send us an emoji, a question, a comment, say thank you, whatever. Say hi, introduce yourself. You don't have to be a gym rat. I'm not. It sounds like, Marshall, you haven't been for a majority of your life, and may not even consider yourself one still. But like, please, but this is one way that Marshall wants to bless you, that I want to, encourage you all as my audience and as our friends to live a life that you truly want, with the care of your body and with the care of the people around you. If you're taking care of yourself and taking care of, who you are, how much more are you fully capable of doing?
Yeah. And to elaborate on that, anyone who's listening can get a free week trial with Camp Gladiator, and that's virtual or in person if they're in a place where they have an in-person option, which you can go on our website, campgladiator.com, to see those options. But virtual, you can do it anywhere. If you got an internet connection, you're there. So free week, access to all of our trainers. And then for one lucky person, you're going to get a free month.
Boom.
Boom. So those are both available. Like Joe said, I guess just I actually am not seeing what he's seeing. So I guess comment, DM, all that kind of stuff. And we'll get in touch with you and set you up.
Yeah. Don't worry. We'll gladly take care of you. There's no doubt about it. This is our way of blessing you. And really the start of these conversations was always connecting you all with people like Marshall, who are professionals in their trades and in their skill sets, so that you can have resources to bless you and live the life that you truly crave for. So Marshall, with all this being said, man, like, how are you feeling? Like the world today is different, right? Like, what are the setbacks that, well, let me ask you this. Where does one start? If they're overwhelmed and they don't know where to start, there's so many things available to them. The internet's crazy. Yeah. Where does one start?
Yeah. Great question, especially in this time, right? Because it's so easy to fall back on our excuses of like, well, I can't get to a gym, or it's not safe, blah, blah, blah. You just write it off. Don't write it off. There's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? And so I think the very first thing is you got to ask good questions. Ask good questions to the right people. And so, that could be someone like Joe who's just getting started. Could be someone like me who's a trainer. I say probably the best person to talk to is think, where do I want to be? Find someone who's at that place and ask them. And it takes a little bit of humility, right? Like, it sucks to ask for help. But I think taking that initiative to say, hey, like, what did you do to get started? What would you suggest? But actually having that dialogue, because I'm telling you, like, if your main sources of information are chats online, influencers, things like that, it's not going to be personal, right? Everyone has a different story. Everyone has different needs. But also, there's no accountability with that. So part of it is talking, asking good questions, so actually talking with someone. And then I'd say set goals first. So where do I want to be in a month? Simple goals, like where do I want to be in a month? Where do I want to be in 2 months, 6 months, right? What do I want? When do I want to start, right? And probably that should be tomorrow, or even today. So set goals, and then also set accountability. This one is super key, and there's tons of different methods of accountability. But I think the most successful options are either what I call a battle buddy, which is someone you work out with, and or a trainer. And so, and a trainer doesn't have to be a personal trainer; it can be a group fitness trainer. But some people who are in a relationship with you, they're going to hold you accountable, because obviously we all know fitness is important, but we also are quite averse to it. We don't naturally want to do it. So you need that extra push for most of us.
Yeah. Well, it's so cool that the battle buddy, that's been one of the things that for me has been the biggest game changer personally, right? Is a bunch of buddies. I in June started running, never ran in my life. And for good reasons. I was like a 7-point, reason not to run, Calvinist kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I, have had since then seen the light moment. Mm-hmm. And whenever I remember you reaching out to me, it was in the thick of the quarantine and everything else. And as somebody who was just getting started in the fitness journey personally, I also knew that this wasn't the only way that I could possibly grow in this space. It couldn't just be running. Like, there had to be more to it. But where did you start? And whenever it was apparent that somebody was doing something that was fun and convenient, like partnering with me, I said, I'm home, because frankly, we can't. Right now, I'm not going to the gym. And that's just a personal family decision based off of we're expecting our third kiddo. So, precautions that not everybody has to agree with, but that I've decided for our family is okay, And honestly, Marshall, like, that's the one thing I've seen so beautifully is your guys' creativity, and your creativity showing up in this process of partnering, making it community, making it relational, making it fun, making it super affordable, right? Like, I mean, that's just one of the things just a few of the things that I've grown to appreciate with your workouts, man. And it's been even flexible with workout structures, because I now have a bum leg a little bit, and your guys' trainers have all been very adaptable to somebody like myself who's trying to figure out what's safe, what's wise, am I doing it correctly? Like, being critiqued on a video is actually pretty impressive. Like, when you think about it, because you generally only associate like the pixels and not being able to see them, but they're critiquing myself, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
Like, what's that like for you, man? Like, what's that look like? What does that mean to you to be able to stand with somebody, be with somebody who's really putting in the effort? Because it's not easy. It's not fun. I'm working up a sweat. I'm taking time away from my family. I'm, putting energy and time and money into a space that can be really exhausting. Yeah. And what's it like for you to see somebody see the results and work towards the goals even?
Yeah. It is my absolute favorite part of my job. I love coming alongside people and helping them to enhance their life. And, that's pretty much what I've done in different capacities throughout my adulthood, in different careers, starting in ministry. But, I like to think of this in a way as just a different form of discipleship, right? Like, I am investing my life into another person, and I'm getting to see in real time the fruits and the benefits of that. And it's just the most rewarding feeling to know that, in real time, especially with people like, we haven't been able to talk in years, and so many other people like I'm getting to reconnect with it. I would never have a normal opportunity or natural opportunity maybe to be able to, be a part of their lives. Well, through this, not only can I be a part of their lives, I can actually be a part of improving their lives. And you mentioned like, being able to like see people. I know for me, I, went out and found a cheap, big 45-inch, I think, screen that I use as my monitor. I have it right here. And most trainers, pretty much all trainers have done that. And the reason why is because we really do care. Like, it's not, I'm not going to name a bunch of different companies, but it's not like you're watching someone and listening to them, right? Like, if you start slacking, I'm going to call you out. If you're breaking form, I'm gonna say that, and you're making sure in a gentle and loving way.
Sure.
It's training, right? And there's just a handful of things that we lose if a person's camera setup isn't good and I can't see their full body. That may be an issue, but typically I'm going to address that pretty early on so that I can see them well. Well, I guess no one can get tactile feedback. Tactile feedback being whenever maybe you like use an instrument to prod an area so they can feel it, to like straighten their back or whatever it is. But for the most part, and it really has improved me as a trainer, I can pretty much do all the things necessary to help a person improve by what I can see and say. And so, this platform of Zoom that we operate on has just been, it's far exceeded my expectations. And I've heard that from my athletes, from my campers. They've said, like, I never thought that it would be like this and engaging and this involved and also challenging. And those are all compliments to me. I love hearing that. And so, anyway, I honestly forgot the original question, but those are my ramblings.
Those are perfect ramblings. Because honestly, man, as you've been talking, there's some people that have really been blessed by the virtual workouts, like, that we can definitely see how they have been so convenient. They have been so creative, even talking about battle partners and, Ren, giving a shout out to Allie. Ren, give Allie a fist bump for us, because that's such a blessing to have those people. And friends, if you don't have that person available, Marshall, what's your wisdom there? Like, I don't have a battle buddy. I'm new to the area. I don't have very many friends. I don't have any family nearby.
Yeah, that's a great question. And even like maybe if it's not any of those things, maybe just there's the people in your life aren't in the same level of you are or aren't motivated. That's probably one of the biggest hindrances. So a couple of things. First off, like, community, to me, group fitness is not just the most affordable means of fitness. It is actually the best. And I think there's a lot of studies that prove that in terms of what you get out of it. And so, like, find some form of group fitness. This what we do with Zoom, what we do with our virtual training is actually group fitness. And I think a lot of our campers will attest to that. Like, even though a lot of them have never met each other, most of them haven't met each other in person, they're hearing the person. I'm saying give an air file to the person to your left and right, Brady Bunch style. And so, like, we're actually working out together and we feed off each other's energy. And so the first thing I'd say is easiest thing is find some group fitness somewhere, whatever that is, right? We have options with Camp Gladiator. There's plenty of other options as well. Outdoor, again, is probably safest right now. But yeah, find an avenue for group fitness. And then also, a trainer is immensely invaluable. I don't just say that because I am a trainer. I say that because I've benefited highly from trainers. And so if you're in a really good group fitness environment, then you're going to have a certified trainer, and that can kind of fill that niche. If you want to get a personal trainer, that's an option as well. Obviously going to be a little bit more pricey, but to me, I think, again, group fitness kind of marries the two forms of accountability really well, in that you're getting the relational accountability of peers, and you're getting that training accountability of the trainer. So anyway, those would be my thoughts with that in terms of like how to get started if you feel like you don't know where to get started.
Yeah, well, and then my sister asked the question of what's your favorite affordable resources that you recommend for a person beginning to work out, which community? I mean, that's yeah. What else? Anything else that you would add to that?
So I mean, battle buddies are free for the most part. It's a what's that term? I can't remember. It's the biological term. It's a sympathetic relationship, right? And so like there's I don't even know if that's the word, but anyway, it's you're both benefiting, and so there's typically no cost there. That's an easy one. Honestly, like, I'm not just saying this to promote Camp Gladiator. It really is the most affordable option when you're talking about all those things that we just talked about. I mean, for as low as $30 a month, like, you are getting the group aspect, you're getting the training aspect, accountability, challenges, all kinds of things. So like, honestly, like, it really is pretty, like, I mean, as far as things that work go. Other than that, some free resources I would consider when you're looking for things on either the internet or in social media. One thing I just encourage you to look for is educators, not influencers. Okay. And what I mean by that is look for people who are like the bulk of their content is information, and they're educating you in the process. A couple of ones that come to mind off the top of my head: Squat University on Instagram. If you just follow some fitness tags, like personal training, and again, it's everything's so diluted with influencers and stuff like that. But if their main content is them looking hot, I'm not saying it's always the case. It probably isn't going to be the most helpful thing to you. All it's going to do is going to bring up your insecurities, make you have envy, think that it's unattainable, give you some, I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not going to rip on influencers, but like, there is a wealth of information out there that is right for the picking. Right. It's sometimes hard to differentiate what is good information, what's bad information. That's why I do think there needs to be a relational component of either a group, battle buddy, or a trainer. But if you can't, if you're just not there to invest in that, then look for people who their main message is, I want to educate you right now. I want to inspire you. I want to influence you. Right.
Yeah. A teacher's spirit is definitely what has been really impressive, even for a lot of the trainers. Because whenever you join the Camp Gladiator, like I have, you have access to all of these trainers, not just Marshall. So you're not just getting, no offense, bro, like you're getting a plethora of dude, tell me if I'm wrong, like thousands of trainers. I mean, goodness.
Yeah, we currently 1,000 trainers. We currently around 1,000, a little over 1,000 trainers, and so it's I mean, I tell people regularly, one of my biggest regrets when I first started my 6-week challenge was I didn't push my 6-week challenge was an introduction to Zoom fitness and virtual fitness. And I had 103 people sign up for that. It was insane. Wow. And it was awesome. It was great. But my biggest regret was that I didn't encourage people enough to go visit other trainers. I told them to because I wanted them to, but I realized in hindsight, I really should have pushed people because people were just really loyal to me, which I appreciated. But missing out on a wealth of experience, of knowledge. I'm relatively new to the training game. I have no shame in saying I am not nearly as knowledgeable as tons of trainers out there. And the other thing was simply I can't train 24 hours a day. But we do have trainers on pretty much 24 hours a day.
Literally.
And when it came time for people going back to work or their schedules were changing with quarantine, some people felt like they couldn't go on because their schedule no longer matched my schedule. So I think that's another one of the big benefits of Camp Gladiator is literally from 3 in the morning until 10 at night. Every 15 minutes, there's dozens of new live sessions going on. And
Yeah.
so timing really is never an issue.
Right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It really is. I mean, friends, and like I said, what Marshall is talking about, these are very good, skilled men and women that really care. And every interaction, one of the things that's been the most helpful for me, and I was telling Marshall this before our conversation today, was the amount of encouragement that I was receiving from a complete stranger. I don't know this person from Adam. You know, I mean, I really don't. They're thousands of miles away, but yet they're watching me, and I can tell that they're caring for me, and the way that they're interacting with me during a workout. Keep in mind, my heart rate is through the roof. I can't breathe. I'm sweating, you know, my freaking butt off, and I'm in the convenience of my own living room, but I'm stretching and pushing myself in a way that, frankly, I don't think I have in a very long time. And yet it's because of how they've been able to build a curriculum that really takes care of an individual and helps them grow. And it's like I said, yeah, I completely agree. I'm not trying to plug the organization so much as just the opportunity, friends, for you all to push yourself in a place that, hey, why try to do this alone? Why?
Yeah.
You'll spin your tires for a long time. You might even injure yourself, frankly. But if you're willing to invite resources and invite care to stand with you, stand for your change, help you get clear on where you want to be in a week, where you want to be in a month, where you want to be in a year, right? Like, and everybody's going to be different. So why try to fit yourself into an influencer's box whenever you can be in a educator's growth, you know, space that is specific to you? I mean, to me, correct me if I'm wrong, Marshall, but it seems like a safer, more long-term plan.
Absolutely. You know, I think that, you know, this is the last thing, hopefully, that I'm going to bash on influencers. I think typically the appeal of influencers is that they fit the idea of the goal that most people have in their head. And what I mean by that is typically when people think about fitness, it almost always is about how they look and maybe even how they feel, right? So it's either like, I want to lose some weight, I want to gain some muscle, or I want to be confident and I want to, you know, be healthy, the ambiguous healthy. And those latter two are definitely better motivators, like being healthy, being confident. Those are both good things. The former two are very temporary. It's honestly, I can get most people to where they want to be in a matter of months. Now, depending on where you're at, that may be longer. It takes, you know, people a different amount of times. So what happens when you reach the physical goal, right? Do you just quit? Do you stop? Do you just get bored and keep doing the same thing, right? And so all that to say, I like to help people think when it comes to a desire to work out, a desire to be healthy, why do you actually want to do that? What's the deep down root reason why? And I think that that's why educators are long-term a lot more impactful, is because that's what we're driving at. We want people to dig deep, to see that it goes beyond the looks, it goes beyond even the ambiguous health, right? Now, health is a huge one, but what is that health giving me? It's giving me better quality of life. It's giving me more years with my family, especially if you have kids, like being able to think about that. It's giving me more focus and energy to be able to perform better with work, with my family, with my friends. Like there's endless benefits to maintaining the bodies that we've been given. And so finding all those whys and really hanging on to those are going to be the things that keep us motivated, keep us going for the long haul. And even like when you're going to have slumps. Every now and then you're going to have slumps, but that's going to be the thing that brings you out of it and motivates you forward, right? So that's what I have to say about that.
Marshall, with that, what's your why, man? What's your why for, I mean, you shared why you want to teach people.
Yeah.
Before you even got to that point, it was like, this has to matter to you. What was that, man?
Man, I think the biggest one, it's changed so much over the years, right? When I started, I think it probably was more that I just want to look better. Like when I started off, I was about 20% body fat, which isn't like crazy high, but for me, it was high.
Yeah.
I've always been a naturally kind of more slender person. So I was getting those definite love handles, and I'd never worked out like, you know, with weights, and just didn't know what I was doing anyway. So like at first I was just like, oh man, my metabolism's going, I need to make a change. So that's what got me going.
Yeah.
But what I found was that when I am consistent with my fitness, I'm far more consistent with my life. I'm really bad at discipline, which is funny that I'm a trainer, right? But I'm not. I'm not naturally a very disciplined person at all. That's why I need a group. That's why I need accountability of some sort. Big accountability for me is that I want to be able to train people well, and so I want to get a lot of experiences from different trainers in the Camp Gladiator. I want to research things. I want to try things. That's a big motivator for me now. But anyway, my biggest motivator is that I want to be like my healthiest self, and not just physically, but mentally. I want to be consistent in my focus. I want to be driven. I want to be passionate. And, I've wrestled with depression, and I have absolutely found in my personal life, and there's plenty of research that supports that a physically fit lifestyle really helps with that. And so I think my main motivator now is that ultimately I want to be a happy person. I want to be a happy person that feels like I'm excelling with what has been given to me. And I have found that the main common denominator for me outside of my spiritual life is my physical health. Mm-hmm. And so that's my why now. Yeah.
Dude, I love that, man. Mine recently has come to clarity to be, living stronger to live longer. Mm.
And been beautiful. It's great.
Honestly, it literally came to me like while I was on a run, and it was just because I was kind of listening to a coaching, recording in my buds, and it was like, what's the vision for this run? What's the vision for what you're doing? And I never thought of that. And it's crazy because I'm a coach. I mean, I literally, the first thing I do, step number one, what's your vision? Where are we going? And here I am doing this, this circus of just running around like a fool. And I finally got clear as to why this matters to me, because frankly, exactly what you said, part of that happiness, part of that joy, it comes from how do I feel? How do I feel about myself physically, emotionally, spiritually, right? And I've just found that like, hey, even with all these, germs floating around, I'm like, well, if you have a good body, I'm not a doctor, but it should be able to defend itself a little bit easier. Not
100%. And that's one of the things I said early on when all this happens. Like, it's crazy that this is the time that a lot of people are like letting themselves fall off, and myself included. Like, right, we're not naturally very rational beings, right? Like, there is a respiratory virus going around right now. There is no better or more important time to make sure that your lung health, your heart health is optimal. And it's clear. It's very, very clear. The more in shape you are, the higher chance you have of defending against this virus, whether that be like not just surviving, but thriving with it. And so, you're 100% right.
Yeah, honestly, Marshall, what from you, like in your world, man, what are you looking forward to the most as you think about the future, as you think about health, as you think about people that you want to interact with and care for and love on and serve? Like, what do you see the future holding when it comes to fitness?
That's a great question, man. I really believe that this model, and doesn't necessarily have to be Camp Gladiator. I hope that some other people take from us and that it's able to grow and develop. But I think that this really is the future of fitness. Trends change a lot in fitness, and the reason why I got on with Camp Gladiator is because they're just getting started here in Atlanta, and I love pioneering things. So I love being part of the ground floor of movement. But also because like when I really thought about it, it just makes sense, right? For taxi companies like that, they're going out of business. Why? Because Uber, right? Uber has changed the game for travel, right, and getting from point A to point B in cities, right? Same thing with blanking on the name, the hotel alternative.
Airbnb.
That's it. But anyway, Airbnb, like basically their model is there are plenty of ways that we can make this, we can revolutionize this by utilizing people in different areas, right? And so Camp Gladiator basically has taken the same approach. We've said like, we don't need a big building. We don't need a space. What we need is trainers. The most valuable thing when it comes to fitness is the trainer. And so it's built this network of trainers, and just like Uber, we got an app where you can see where all of us are, right? And you can go to and select. And so all that to say, like, what is to answer your question? What is my hope? What is my vision for the future? My vision for the future is that affordable, accessible, and quality training is available to literally everyone. It's totally feasible and it's totally possible. I wouldn't have said that 10 years ago. I wouldn't have said that before a model like this was available. I guess it still was possible. It just wasn't there, and no one had thought about it yet. But this model really does make that. I used to work for a gym that was $230 a month. And when people came in, I would try to, if I thought that they could afford it, I would try to convince them that this is something that is good for you and worthy of your time and money. And I think for people who could afford it, it was. But there's plenty of people, most people shouldn't be paying $230 a month for fitness, right? But 30 to 60 bucks a month, that is, for the most part, doable for 95% of the population, probably, if not more, right? And so for me, that's what I hope, that's what I desire, is that really good quality fitness is accessible and affordable to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, kind of as we wrap things up, friends, like I said before, if you guys want, free access to this stuff, literally send us a comment, send us a question, even DM me if that's easier for you. Check out Marshall's Instagram because we want to bless you. We want to give you stuff. And this program, it's free. You have zero obligation. And I just finished my last month. Marshall invited me to take CG up on their free month, and I did it, and it was a great experience, and that's why I committed to it for long term. And so we want to bless you with this. And if you do want that opportunity, literally DM, comment, question, whatever, either me or Marshall, I promise you, we will give it to you. There's no tricks, there's no surprises to it. This is a great resource, and it helps. I think even if you say this isn't the right fit, great, at least you did something.
Exactly.
Do something. Own your responsibility for yourself, for your health, for your body. Okay. One of the things that I talk to with all my clients is you're responsible for you, period. Mm-hmm. The external forces around you are external. You can control some of them and you can't control a lot of them. So let's start with the ones that let's put ourselves moving forward. Yeah. Right. Marshall, with the whole workout thing, tell me what else would be something that people need to keep in mind besides the workout. I sign up for, CG, or I finally go to the gym, or I start running, doing whatever. What other variables do I really need to kind of make sure are in check to make sure that my physical workouts are worthwhile, are effective, Yeah.
Great question, man. I'd say two things come to mind in broad category: nutrition and recovery. So I'd start by saying that. There's something else that's on the tip of my mind. I'll probably remember it later. Who knows? But anyway, those two things, when I think about that, so the reason why those come up pretty easily for me is because part of what I do with my members is these seminars every month or 2 months, because I do believe that the workout is just a part of it, right? It is an aspect of it. We've talked about the accountability, which is another big key. But another really, really big part of this whole fitness lifestyle is nutrition. And then recovery. And really, nutrition is even part of recovery. So what I mean by that is you are not getting stronger when you're working out. You're actually, what you're doing is you're tearing down your muscles. You're tearing down, the fibers in your muscles. And then it's in the recovery that you are getting stronger. It's in the recovery that those muscles are repairing. They're getting bigger. They're getting stronger. I'm going to move back so that light turns on. Boom, there we go. And anyway, it's in the recovery that you actually are improving. So it is so necessary. It's so important. So what do I mean by recovery? I mean getting enough sleep. Okay, 7 to 8 hours minimum a night, and I'd say at all costs. If you think that you don't have time for that, yes, you do. You probably don't think you have time because your unfocused, cloudy mind is making you take longer to do things than you normally would, right? And so the time you invest in recovery, the time you invest in fitness will be paid back to you in productivity and focus. So sleep, hydration. I got my water bottle here. People know me. I always have my water bottle with me. Invest in a stainless steel or some sort of water bottle, reusable water bottle. Take it with you wherever. All right. It varies, but you need around 90 to 120, 130 ounces a day, depending on your fitness and activity level, which is much more than most people are drinking. And I don't mean Coke, so I don't mean other liquids, I mean water. So sleep, hydration, stretching. Stretching, we do that every time at the end of my sessions. Not every trainer does that, but every trainer will say it's necessary. And so stretching at the end, warming up at the beginning, all of those things are preventing injury, and they're helping you to recover better so that you're getting more out of the work that you're doing in here. I've heard it said that you actually should be stretching 30 seconds for every minute that you're working out, which seems excessive, but when it comes to like improving mobility, getting the most out of your workout, I actually have found that to be true. So those are a few things in the recovery department. You can also start talking about things like supplements. When I talk about supplements, I always want people to remember what supplement means. It means to come alongside or to replace something that you can't get otherwise. So supplements are supposed to be filling in the gaps that you can't get with your nutrition, all right? And so ideally, if your money was no resource and time was no resource, you could probably get pretty much everything just from your nutrition, right? Proteins, carbs, fats, and the healthy micronutrients that are part of that. But it's really hard for a lot of people to get the protein. So I think protein shakes are great if you need them as a supplement. I think caffeine or pre-workout can be a good supplement as well. I also think there's space for creatine, no more than 5 milligrams a day, but some space for that. So there's a handful of supplements I'll talk about, but most things I think are just a waste of money.
Yeah.
And so that brings me to my last point, which is that proper nutrition is maybe one of the most important things that you can do for yourself. You've probably seen the meme, or maybe some listeners have, and they'll show like a gym like this, or something that's more traditionally like a gym. They'll say people think this is the hard thing about fitness, and then they say what's actually hard about fitness, and it'll be like the meal prep.
Yeah,
it's so true. Like the nutrition is so much harder, but it's that much more necessary that you focus on it and that you make sure that's a priority. Because if you think about it, you're working out maybe 3 to 4 times a week. You're eating 3 to 4 times a day.
Right.
So if that's not in line, if that's not where it needs to be, then you can't outwork a bad diet. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You go to McDonald's, get one single Big Mac meal, that's 1,500 calories. It would take 3 hours of intense working out to burn 300 calories. 1,500 calories. So you can't work it out. Okay. You can't outwork a bad diet. So I would just simply say, realize that your fitness is so much more than what you do in the gym. And it doesn't have to cost more. It doesn't have to take more time. It's about learning habits, about learning disciplines to make those things convenient and affordable. And all I'll say about that is I don't have time to go into a whole nutrition talk, but I'm living proof of that. I'm a 230-pound, 6'5" guy, and I eat for about $40 a week. And so I all my groceries, and the maybe 1 or 2 times that I eat out, which is usually super, super cheap. It's usually one time. But anyway, I eat for about $40 a week. And I spend about a collective 2 hours, and that's including microwave time, food in a week. And that's total. And so it doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. There's a way to do it. It's just about finding what works for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Take notes, my friends, because it's so true that it's not just the workout. And this also goes back to having a trainer to coach you, to stand for you. And after a workout session, be glad to talk to you about these types of things.
Yes. And they really are. I always say, if you got any questions, feel free to stick around.
Yeah.
That's truly the case. I am, I wish my athletes ask me more questions. I love them. Bring them on. We want to be there for you. Yeah,
honestly, guys, this is why I'm so excited about what Marshall's doing, because it serves you, it cares for you, and it brings. My prayer would be that it would bring a new opportunity to fitness in whatever way that looks. Because Marshall, like one of the things that I want to kind of wrap up with is, what does success look like, right? Like we see what Instagram says, we see the world even has to say. We see what society sometimes has to say. You fit in this thing, you look like this, it talks and walks, runs like this. And that just hasn't been my experience. I'm not even running sub 9-minute miles right now. I'm not there yet. And whenever you look at, Strava, I'm like, oh crap, everybody's running like 4-minute miles. Like they're with Olympians all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But that's not true. And one of the things that my prayer is that you all would find success to look a little different, but growth to also look different too. So with that, what does success look like through your perspective as you coach people, as you love them, as you serve them?
Yeah, I'll start off by saying what success is not. success is not a number. Okay. I want to say that particularly, and not to be like sexist word, but I want to say that particularly for women, success is not a number. And this is for men too. We all struggle with body image issues. It's not on the scale. It's not on your waistline. It's not even, the number of calories necessarily you can take. Now, there's definitely a place to be mindful of it. But success is not a number, okay? So don't get that out of your mind. That is the first thing. Success is not a number. I'd also say success is not being better than the person next to you, right? Mm-hmm. It's not competition. That may be a good motivator for you, but you should not gauge your success by that, in my opinion. I may have a better answer for this, but off the top of my head, I think the thing in my life, and I think the thing that I see in most people's lives that when I say you're killing it, you're crushing it, you're doing a great job, it comes down to consistency. I know that's kind of a boring answer, but I think if I see a person coming in 3 to 4 times a week, they're there on time, they're putting in consistent work, that is going to make me so much more proud than the person that comes in maybe once a week, once every other week, 5 times one week, no times the next week, all over the place, and they're like just crushing it, right? And so all that to say, yeah, consistency I think is what we got to shoot for. Having a consistent attitude towards our nutrition, towards our fitness, towards our health, and if there's any competition, it should be between you and the person who you were yesterday, right? That we're always improving, that we're always getting better, and so. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how I'd wrap it up. Find something that you love, find something you can stick with, and stay consistent with it.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's a sexy answer for me for a coach. I love that, man. Thank you for sharing that, Marshall. How can people connect with you? Where can they find you? And what ways you want people to connect? Yeah, absolutely. In social media, I'm Marshall Jones. You'll see me with either a Gladiator image or this image I'll show it to you right now. It's something like this. All right, so it's me pointing to that. It's Marshall Jones on Facebook, Marshall_Jones on Instagram. Definitely feel free to DM me, slide in. I'll welcome that. If you're an email type person, it's just Marshall Jones, one word, @campgladiator.com. So yeah, those are the general ways. If you want my number, I'll give it that too. I don't care, but man. Go for it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Why not? 601-938-3300. Hit me up.
You heard it here, folks. A guy that truly cares about the people that he gets to work with and the work that he's doing. Friends, like I said, it's to bless you. It's to bring new opportunity, new hope, and a new future that you long for. Start with baby steps and be consistent in them. If there's one thing that let us know what you take away from this. Leave it in the comments. DM Marshall, DM me, and let us know what your takeaway is. And like I said, we're going to be giving a week's worth of workouts for free. No questions asked.
Full access
to everything. And then we're going to be drawing the name tomorrow because I want to. If people are commenting later on this, hey man, we want to bless you and push you eligible for it. And I promise somebody will be drawn. It's not one of those yeah, please sign up. Give us your number. No, just you already know us. So let us know how we can bless you and just take care of you by giving you access to some great resources that are for you. So please let us know how this helped and share it. Reach out to Marshall. He's here for you. Marshall, brother, thank you so much.
No.
Thank you,
my friend.
Seriously.
Thank you.
Grateful for you. Everyone, be safe, take care of each other, and have a wonderful day.
See y'all.